Literally what we're talking about in this entire video. Like some of these people in these studies, they literally lost muscle, but they became stronger. And these are trained individuals that they used for the study. Like the pieces of the puzzle, the border is here. Someone just has to go both cheeks into the middle and just complete it. So let's talk about strength. What people think it is, how do you get it? Normally the conventions are you bulk up to gain strength. When you're cutting, you want to preserve muscle. You're not really making much gains. You're going to do high rep work. This is just wrong, I think. So this is my hypothesis, what I believe to be true, and what we will be testing with the N=1 human test subject. So I want to prove that you can cut and lose an enormous amount of weight while gaining a ton of strength. I'm not talking, 10, 20 pounds on your bench press. I'm talking like a plate, So think about it for a second. Everything that fitness has talked about, I would like to prove wrong through this experiment. And there is scientific data to correlate with this. Not exactly back me up fully, but because we don't know what could happen. I need him to be in prime shape, fast, lean, strong, the whole package. Because currently, there ain't much going on there. So, this is done first with simple math, right? Let's say you are 220 pounds, 30 to 34% body weight. You really left yourself go, man. Kind of disgusting, kind of bad on you, but whatever. So, through that math, you want to get to 10% body fat. That is in and around the 165 to 170-ish range. We say ish because the methods of calculating body fat aren't exact, so we aim for that range. And using an additional data point from before at 180 pounds, he was about 15 to 17% body fat, thereby putting us in the same exact range to be 10%. And muscle loss, let's say you lost 2 to 3 pounds of muscle over the course of 3 years where you did nothing, doesn't really affect this calculation much, right? So we're aiming to see the best possible, strongest, smallest version of yourself. So this method, most people, they go to the gym and train in order to gain muscle. This formula is totally opposite. You're going to the gym to gain zero muscle, but only get strong. Quite frankly, I don't want to put on any muscle on the frame. Let's take the normal gym goer, for example. They're bulking, they're feeling good, they have enough energy to go to the gym. Their numbers, their bench is going up, their squats going up. Then they cut. Oh my God, I'm cutting, I don't want to lose muscle. So they start doing high rep sets. I think that this is just wrong, because think of it this way. Let's say you were cutting and you have a set amount of muscle on you, right? Your goal while cutting is to not lose any of that muscle. But what if while cutting, you were to train that muscle to fire off more efficiently? Just bam, bam, bam. Because most people, they only can fire off 20% of their abilities, but then we fire it up to like 60, 70, 80. Then the people who can lift cars off of their children, firing off at like 100+%. How is this possible? So we want to tap into this, right? While cutting, to be able to induce in your mind this strength. And I believe that this is possible through the KC and S training. So you're training your central nervous system to fire off your muscle more efficiently. So I don't want to use paper, it's too expensive. Let's take these two lifters, Mr. Normie Lifter and the new method, right? This is during cut. Let's say they both have a 405 squat max. Good for you, man. And they're aiming to cut 20 pounds, right? let's say hypothetical, he's going to do 315 for sets of 10. That's kind of being a little generous, but we're giving it to this guy. He needs it, right? So through his cut, he believes that he should keep the reps high in order to not lose muscle. So he's going to stay at 315 for 10. He might go up a little bit, and, you know, that's it. He's not really pushing crazy, right? So let's compare it to the method over here, right? This new method. So let's say he has a 405-pound squat max, and he works up to training at 90% and above only for 2 sets per session, every session, incrementally going up and making new PRs, right? So at the end of the 20-pound bulk, right? Let's say that you're really, really cranking this, and you're able to get your squat max to like 485, really peaking it out over the 20 pounds lost. At the end of that cycle, what would this guy doing 485 be able to rep for 10? I'm gonna rep that for like 30. That's nothing. It's like paper. He would be repping like 405 for 10 at the end of the cut, compared to this guy who might be maxing what, 425? I am basically doing 10 reps of this guy's max just because I pushed myself on this method and peaked on the way down through the cut. And while bulking, thereby on that, this guy will be like, oh, it's my strength phase while bulking. He'll bulk up. He might get to 485. Fine, give it to him. But me, this person, will be doing reps of 10 at 405 while eating a ton to gain mass, to then repeat the method to train that new mass to be strong in the cut and just be exponentially stronger. This is what I think. This is what I want to show and achieve with this method, that you can train the central nervous system to fire off extremely hard at these above 90% and peak while cutting, right? In order to then rep more while bulking to gain muscle, because you have the nutrients to do larger sets. Why wouldn't you be just only gaining muscle during your bulk and not aiming for strength at all? That's what I think. So this study is a meta-analysis. It took apart many different studies in order to create its findings. Linked right down below. Go ahead, you can read it for yourself. And I want to focus in on this part here, right? Strength gains were unaffected by the presence or absence of an energy deficit, as well as its estimated severity. So most of the people in this cut were at about 500 calories. They said that they didn't have enough data for people at 1,000 calories under, but 500, that's what we want. 1 pound a week of loss, 5 times 7, 3,500 calories, 1 pound. Easy. The subjects gained strength despite impaired gains or even losses of lean mass. Suggest these strength gains may be independent of hypertrophy and instead due to neural adaptations. Literally what we're talking about in this entire video. Like some of these people in these studies, they literally lost muscle, but they became stronger. And these were trained individuals that they used for the study. Like the pieces of the puzzle, the border is here. Someone just has to go both cheeks into the middle and just complete it. So from this process, this is anaerobic respiration, which the type 2 muscle fibers use, fueled by the glucose. So if we were to be cutting calorie restricted and time all of our carbs in our day in order to fuel the glucose needed to run this process as efficiently as possible for 2 sets, that's all I need. That's all I'm asking for. That's how you can get around this whole I feel weak thing. And you just need 2 sets to fuel this process as efficiently as possible through nutrient timing in order to get the CNS activation above 90%. So you're only going to get 1, 2, maybe 3 sets a day out of this, but that's all you need, because we're training the nervous system to fire off more efficiently with the muscle that we have. We're not gaining any more muscle, period, whatsoever on this program. We're just making it as efficient as possible. Like, I want to be the Toyota Prius of lifting. Efficient, sleek, really damn cool. In this next study, linked right down below, all the studies linked in order, shows how that with their glycogen replenished, that people's CNS just comes boom right back. And it's really cool how they measure this. They like strap electrodes to your quad and zap it, because boom, 100%, it's working there. And then they zap it again later when your calorie depleted and your glycogen's depleted, and they're like, oh, it's creating less force. Therefore, CNS isn't firing because it's calorie. Yeah, so that goes into the nutrient timing that we need to make this program work. Like, there's bits and pieces everywhere. Now, in the next study, it's showing high sets, 5 sets versus 3 sets on how much lean mass that they maintained in a calorie deficit. There's no difference, right? So as long as you're working out hard, like, you're good. That's what I'm trying to get into here. Like, there's so many studies that are around this topic, right? But getting to the heart of it, really just trying to make someone truly suffer and be hungry all the damn time, but really gain strength. And we're gonna do this live on YouTube and prove that you can gain strength while cutting. Meta changing. That's what's up.